Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8. Today we have to begin with chapter 22. Does anyone remember what we read yesterday?
Hare Krishna. We were reading that Bali Maharaj was trying to convince all his supporters that don't fight, but then later uh, Lord Vishnu's um, followers, they came and then they pushed them down towards the hell, and then Bali Maharaj told his followers not to fight, and then they pushed him. And then after that, Lord himself asked Bali Maharaj that, now where should I keep my third leg? And it was also glorifying Bali Maharaj humbleness and his like how humble he was, that he didn't give up his promise that he wants to give, though all his uh, everything was taken away, he had nothing now left, but still he kept his promise and he wanted to surrender to Lord and he wanted to give him. So they were glorifying the devotee he wanted, and everybody from above and everybody was glorifying Lord Vaman Dev, like they were crying for Vaman Dev when he was supposed to be pushed towards the hell due to the curse of Shukracharya. But then Krishna always, Lord always is with the devotees. Wherever the devotee is, even in hell or heaven, that place is always heaven. Like, not heaven, wait, it becomes Golok. Wherever the devotee is, heaven or hell, and he's not scared in any situation he's put. He always wants to please Krishna and surrender to Krishna. And the same was with Bali Maharaj, that he just wanted to surrender and please Krishna. So we were reading up to that, and then now Lord asked him that where should I keep my third leg? You tell me. I have covered the whole of the earth and then a whole of the up till Brahma Lok. So everything is covered with my two steps. So where should I keep my third? You have to tell me.
Thank you. Also, in this time, Garud also arrested Bali Maharaj.
Yes.
He had arrested him, and then we were seeing how tolerant Bali Maharaj is. It shows how tolerant he is. Okay, thank you. Going on, chapter 22, Bali Maharaj surrenders his life. We'll read a brief summary by Srila Prabhupada, then we'll go in detail. The summary of this 22nd chapter is as follows. The Supreme Personality of Godhead was pleased by the behavior of Bali Maharaj. Thus the Lord placed him on the planet Sutala, and thereafter bestowing benedictions upon him, the Lord agreed to become his doorman. Bali Maharaj was extremely truthful. Being unable to keep his promise, he was very much afraid, for he knew that one who has deviated from truthfulness is insignificant in the eyes of society. An exalted person can suffer the consequences of hellish life, but he is very much afraid of being defamed for deviation from the truth. Bali Maharaj agreed with great pleasure to accept the punishment awarded him by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In Bali Maharaj's dynasty, there were many asuras who, because of their enmity toward Vishnu, had achieved a destination more exalted than that of many mystic yogis. Bali Maharaj specifically remembered the determination of Prahlad Maharaj in devotional service. Considering all these points, he decided to give his head in charity as the place for Vishnu's third step. Bali Maharaj also considered how great personalities give up their family relationships and material possessions to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Indeed, they sometimes even sacrifice their lives for the satisfaction of the Lord, just to become His personal servants. Accordingly, By following in the footsteps of previous acharyas and devotees, Bali Maharaj perceived himself successful. While Bali Maharaj, having been arrested by the ropes of Varuna, was offering prayers to the Lord, his grandfather, Prahlad Maharaj, appeared there and described how the Supreme Personality of Godhead had delivered Bali Maharaj by taking his possessions in a tricky way. While Prahlad Maharaj was present, Lord Brahma and Bali's wife, Vindhyavali, described the supremacy of the Supreme Lord. Since Bali Maharaj had given everything to the Lord, they prayed for his release. The Lord then described how a non-devotee's possession of wealth is a danger, whereas a devotee's opulence is a benediction from the Lord. Then, being pleased with Bali Maharaj, the Supreme Lord offered his disc to protect Bali Maharaj and promised to remain with him. So, also very interesting coming up. We are going to go in detail. Shishuku Vacha
Shri Shukra
श्रीशुक
Uvacha.
उवाच
Evam Viprakrito Rajan
एवं
Evam
विप्रकृतो
Viprakrito Rajan.
राजन्
Balir Bhagavat Asuraha
Bali
बली
Bhagavatasuraha.
भगवतासुरः
Vidyamanopi Abhinnatma
Vidyamanopi
मानोऽपि
Abhinatma.
अभिन्नात्मा
Pratya Aha Viklavam Vachaha.
Pratyaha
प्रत्याहाविक्लवं वचः.
Bhagavat.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Sukadev Goswami said, O King, although the Supreme Personality of Godhead was superficially seen to have acted mischievously toward Bali Maharaj was fixed in his determination. Considering himself not to have fulfilled his promise, he spoke as follows. So Bali Maharaj is not thinking, oh, Vishnu tricked me, Vishnu tricked me. Although, yes, Lord Vishnu did trick him. He did cheat him, right? He said, okay, I just want 3 steps. But that time he was a dwarf, and then he just became so big. But here Bali Maharaj, he's still very concerned. Oh, I must fulfill my promise. Shri Bali Rovacha
Shri Bali Uvacha.
Yadi Uttam Shloka Bhavan Mameritam
Yadi Uttama Shloka Bhavanamam Ritim.
Vacho Vyalikam Suravarya Manyate.
Vacho Vyalikam Survaryamanyate.
Karomi Ritam Tanabhavet Pralambanam.
Karom Yatram Tatra Bhavet Pralambhavan.
Padam Tritiyam Kurushishni Me Nijam.
Padam Tritayam Kurushirshnami Nijam.
Bali Maharaj said, O best personality of Godhead, most worshipable for all the demigods, if you think that my promise has become false, I shall certainly rectify matters to make it truthful. I cannot allow my promise to be false. Please, therefore, place your 3rd lotus footstep on my head. Bali Maharaj could understand the pretense of Lord Vamandev, who had taken the side of the demigods and come before him as a beggar. Although the Lord's purpose was to cheat him, Bali Maharaj took pleasure in understanding how the Lord will cheat his devotee to glorify the devotee's position. It is said that God is good, and that is a fact. Whether he cheats or rewards, he is always good. Bali Maharaj therefore addressed him as Uttama Shloka, Your Lordship, he said. You are always praised with the best of selected verses. On behalf of the demigods, you disguised yourself to cheat me, saying that you wanted only 3 pesos of land. But later you expanded your body to such an extent that with 2 footsteps you covered the entire universe. Because you were working on behalf of your devotees, you do not regard this as cheating. Never mind, I cannot be considered a devotee. Nonetheless, because although you are the husband of Goddess of Fortune, you have come to me to beg. I must satisfy you to the best of my ability. So please do not think that I wanted to cheat you. I must fulfill my promise. I still have my body. When I place my body for your satisfaction, please put your third step on my head. So this is what Bali Maharaj is thinking. Bali Maharaj is also enjoying this pastime with the Lord, because he's understanding, see how to protect the devotees, how Lord Vishnu has played this trick on me. He came as a beggar, begging for some land because he wants to give it to the demigods. And so, because he wants to give it to the demigods who are his devotees, he's not actually really cheating. He's not considering it as cheating, although it is cheating. That's how the Lord is. So Bali Maharaj is also enjoying this humor with the Lord. And he's saying, see, because actually if the Lord wanted, he could have taken 3 paces to cover this entire universe. But he took 2, to make Bali think also, okay, now third one, what do you have? What can you give me now? You know, third one. Otherwise, he could have taken 3, one for lower planets, one for middle, one for upper. Like that covered the universe. But he covered everything in 2. So then Bali Maharaj is like, okay, I have my body. I surrender my body to you now. Yeah. Since the Lord had covered the entire universe with 2 steps, one might ask how Bali Maharaj's head could be sufficient for his third step. Bali Maharaj, however, thought that the possessor of wealth must be greater than the possession. Therefore, although the Lord had taken all his possessions, the head of Bali Maharaj, the possessor, would provide adequate place for the Lord's third step. So someone may say, oh, the Lord's footsteps are so big, how is it even going to fit there? But anyway, it was all Bali Maharaj's possessions. He had given it all away. Now his head is still available. So he wants to say, yeah, you take my body now. My body is yours. I'm surrendering myself unto you. I surrendered my wealth for you. Now I'm surrendering myself unto you. Any comments?
So the greatness of Bali Maharaj is shown like what Krishna wanted to show, that how glorious. So we can see that.
Yeah. Because someone may just say, okay, I'll give my wealth for Krishna, all right. But here now Bali Maharaj is saying, okay, I am also yours. I've given you my wealth, and now me, myself, this body that I have, I surrender to you. This is for your pleasure now.
That's the highest, right? Surrender.
Yes, Atma Nivedanam, yeah, that's the highest. It's the highest, complete surrender. Pibeminaham nirayat padachyuto
Dibe vinaham niryat pradachyuto
napasha bandad vyasanad duratyayat
napashabandha vyasana duratyayat
naivartha krichrat bhavato vinikrahat
nevavarthkrichat
Bhavato
bhavato nigraha
asadu vadad vrisham ud vijayatha.
asadhuvadat vrisham uddvije yatha.
I do not fear being deprived of all my possessions, living in hellish life, being arrested for poverty by the ropes of Varuna, or being punished by you as much as I fear defamation. Although Bali Maharaj fully surrendered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he could not tolerate being defamed for cheating a Brahmana brahmachari. He was saying, okay, I don't care. You punish me, you put me to hell, you take everything away, anything, you arrest me, but don't call me the cheater, that I didn't fulfill my promise. I cannot bear that. I want to fulfill my promise. Being quite alert in regard to his reputation, he thought deeply about how to prevent being defamed. The Lord, therefore, gave him the good counsel to prevent defamation by offering his head. A Vaishnava does not fear any punishment. Narayana para sarvena kutaschana bibhyati. Bhagavatam 6.17.28. So a devotee is always fearless, fearless at the lotus feet of the Lord. Abhay Charana Ravinda. Because he knows that the Lord is there always with me. He doesn't care of anything else. As we heard earlier, he doesn't care whether he's in heaven or hell. He just wants to be with the Lord. Like a small child. Small child is with the mother or father, then he's not fearful. He says, oh, my mother, father are there. They'll protect me. Why I have to fear? They are there. They'll take care of me. And that's how the devotee is. That God is there. He'll take care of me. Why I have to fear? Yeah. Right? Like the child, the baby only has to cry. Cry, mother comes, picks up, baby is happy, smiling, laughing, giggling. So that's how the devotee is. Pumsam shlagya tamam manye
Pumsam shlagyatamam manye
dandam arhatam arpitam
dandam arhatam
Arahatam
arpitam
Architam
yamna mata pita bhrata
yamna mata pita
Mata Pita
bhrata
Brahma
suridas chadashantihi.
suridascha
Adishati.
Although a father, mother, brother, or friend may sometimes punish one as a well-wisher, they never punish their subordinate like this. But because you are the most worshipable Lord, I regard the punishment you have given me as most exalted. So here Bali Maharaj is saying, punishment meted out by the Supreme Personality of Godhead is accepted by the devotee as the greatest mercy. Tatenukampam susamikshmano Bunjana evatmakritam vipakam Redvag vapurbir vidadan namaste Jiveta yo muktipade sadhaya bhak. One who seeks your compassion and thus tolerates all kinds of adverse conditions due to the karma of his past deeds, who engages always in your devotional service with his mind, words, and body, and who always offers obeisances to you, is certainly a bona fide candidate for liberation. Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 14, Text 8. So one who's a devotee, the devotee, he is accepting all kinds of sufferings. I have done so much bad. I deserve more. But Krishna is kind. He is just giving me a token of the suffering. And at the same time, he worships Krishna. He serves Krishna with body, mind, and words, offering obeisances to Krishna. Then certainly, when he dies, he goes back to the spiritual world. Just being Krishna conscious while living, and at the end of life, can go back home, back to Godhead. Prabhupada would say, like, for the son to inherit the property of the father, what he has to do? He simply has to live longer than the father, and then the property of the father will come to him. So the devotee has to remain Krishna conscious, and then he can go back home, back to Godhead. A devotee knows that so-called punishment by the Supreme Personality of Godhead is only his favor to correct his devotee and bring him to the right path. You know, sometimes parents also do that, right? They want to discipline the child, or the child has gone wild. So they may say, okay, I'm going to take away your iPhone now for some time, or iPad, or, so the child is suffering, oh, you're so bad to me. But it's for the good of the child. Therefore, the punishment awarded by the Supreme Personality of Godhead cannot be compared to even the greatest benefit awarded by one's material father, mother, brother, or friend. Of course, the mercy of the Lord, we cannot compare it to what our material relatives can give us. Mercy of the Lord is the highest. We can see here how he is so merciful to Bali Maharaj. And Bali Maharaj also, we can see his greatness. So we can really see that he is really worthy of receiving the mercy of the Lord. Right? Because if it was someone who says, no, no, if I should have, okay, if he would have just followed what Shukracharya was telling him, I'm not going to give you. You know, then he wouldn't have gotten the mercy of the Lord. So we can see that how Bali Maharaj is so great also to be able to receive such a great mercy. Tvam nunam asuranam nam
Tvam nunam asuranam na
paroksha paramo guru
paroksha paramo guru
yono neka madandhanam
yono nikamadandhanam
vibramsham chakshur adishat.
vip vibramsham chakshur adishat.
Since your lordship is indirectly the greatest well-wisher of us demons, you act for our best welfare by posing as if our enemy. Because demons like us always aspire for a position of false prestige, by chastising us, you give us the eyes by which to see the right path. Bali Maharaj considered the Supreme Personality of Godhead a better friend to the demons than to the demigods. In the material world, the more one gets material possessions, the more he becomes blind to spiritual life. The demigods are devotees of the Lord for the sake of material possessions. But although the demons apparently do not have the Supreme Personality of Godhead on their side, he always acts as their well-wisher by depriving them of their positions of false prestige. By false prestige, one is misguided. So the Supreme Lord takes away their position of false prestige as a special favor. So Bali Maharaj is saying that apparently you seem to be merciful only to the demigods, but you actually are also merciful to the demons indirectly. And how is that indirectly? Because the demigods, they are devotees of God, but they have some material desire, some desire to be in the management of the universe. So Krishna fulfills their desires and he protects them whenever is needed. He needs their help. He comes always and helps them. And then helps them mane what? Means to kill the demons, fight with the demons, take away what the demons have. So Bali Maharaj is saying then, in that way, when the demons are suffering because the things are taken away from them, then it helps them to understand, oh, anyway, it does not belong to me, It's being taken away from me. So then that can help them to give up the false prestige. So he's saying you're being more merciful to the demons than to the demigods, because the demigods cannot have that feeling. They always have that, okay, if something is taken away from me, Krishna will come and he'll give it back to me. Right? But here Bali Maharaj is saying, so from the demons it's being taken care away. So, it's they may begin to consider, some of them, that, oh, actually it doesn't belong to me, that it's being taken away from me. Is that okay?
Yeah. So,
Because, for example, in this pastime, like Bali Maharaj, so maybe he was thinking, oh, it belongs to me. Now the Lord has taken it away from him. So we can see that, and Lord took it away from him. Why? For Indra. So, but then now Bali Maharaj is getting more mercy than Indra. We can see in this pastime that he's completely surrendering to the Lord. Yasmin ver anubandena
yasmin veranubandena
yudena vibhutte taraha
vyudena vibhutitaraha
bahavole bire siddhim
ba bahavo lebire siddhim
yam uhe kanta yogina
yam haikanta yoginaha
tenaham nigrahitosmi
tenaham nigrihitosmi
bhavata bhuri karmana
bhavata bhuri karmana
baddhascha varune pasher
baddhascha varune pashe
nati vride nacha vyate.
nati vriddena cha vyate.
Many demons who were continuously inimical toward you finally achieved the perfection of great mystic yogis. Your Lordship can perform one work to serve many purposes, and consequently, although you have punished me in many ways, I do not feel ashamed of having been arrested by the ropes of Varuna, nor do I feel aggrieved. Bali Maharaj appreciated the Lord's mercy not only upon him, but upon many other demons. Because this mercy is liberally distributed, the Supreme Lord is called all merciful. Right? That's how Krishna says that I'm not partial to anyone, right? He says I'm not partial. Bali Maharaj was indeed a fully surrendered devotee. But even some demons who were not at all devotees, but merely enemies of the Lord, attained the same exalted position achieved by many mystic yogis. Thus, Bali Maharaj could understand that the Lord had some hidden purpose in punishing him. So, because whoever is killed by the Lord, you know, then they get liberation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's his mercy on them. It's difficult for so many people to get that. But the demons, because they're killed by the Lord, then they can get liberation. So consequently, he was neither unhappy. So Bali Maharaj could understand Lord had some hidden purpose in punishing him. Consequently, he was neither unhappy nor ashamed because of the awkward position in which he had been put by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because someone may come into shame also, right? Oh, I was the emperor of the universe. Whole universe I'm controlling. Demigods also scared of me. Now, everything is taken away from me. And not only that, but I've been arrested. I can't move. I've been imprisoned here. But Bali Maharaj is not feeling shameful about it. He's
Why
not
is it
even
depressed now?
unhappy. Huh?
To think so high like that, that in spite of all that he's gone through, and still he can think that way, like,
Yeah,
mm,
that's right, right? I mean, what will happen to an ordinary person?
yeah. And he knows that he's been used, right, like as a thing to play the the
Yeah,
pastime with him, right? Yeah.
yeah, that's right. Yeah. And he's like openly, oh, you're tricking me, you're cheating me. So, but he's not going into that emotional thing, you cheated me, How we go into that, right? We may
Yeah.
go, how you could do that? You cheated me, you took away from me to give it to somebody else. What is this? Don't you care about me?
Mm.
Bali Maharaj could think that way, right?
But that also is taking as a mercy. It's mercy on them, that,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, because we may think, oh, you're taking away from me to give it to that person? Huh? So, all right, it was theirs first and I took it, but right now it's mine. And then you still want to take it away. But yeah, so we can really see how great he is, Bali Maharaj.
Yeah.
Not easy, not easy to go through that. So we can see that he is a devotee. That
Yeah.
how a devotee,
Very great devotee.
yeah, is a great devotee. No wonders he comes as one of the Mahājans, right? He's mentioned as one of the Mahājans. Pitamaho me bhavadiya sammatah
पितामहो मे भवदीय सम्मतः
praharada aveshkrita sadhuvadah
प्रराद आवेशकृत साधुवादः
bhavat vipakshena vichitra veshasam
भवद्विपक्षेण विचित्रवेषसम्
samprapitasvam paramasvapitra.
सम्प्रापितस्त्वं परमस्वपित्रा.
My grandfather Prahlad Maharaj is famous, being recognized by all your devotees. Although harassed in many ways by his father Hiranyakashipu, he still remained faithful, taking shelter at your lotus feet. A pure devotee like Prahlad Maharaj, although harassed circumstantially in many ways, never gives up the shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead to take shelter of anyone else. So much Hiranyakashipu did. Poison, terrible snakes, tridents, and with wanting to trample him with elephants or throwing him from the cliff, drowning him. So much, and he was a small child, Prahlad Maharaj, so small, but he was always remembering the Lord. A pure devotee never complains against the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yeah, Prahlad Maharaj also didn't tell, right? Oh, I'm your devotee. Why are you making my father do all these things to me? How could you do that? I'm always remembering you, yet you're putting me in so much trouble. No, he never said that. It's just tolerating everything. At the same time, worshipping the Lord, remembering Him, completely dependent on Him. That, yeah,
So that's the
complete.
sign of a pure devotee.
Yeah. What is the
Mm.
sign?
That tolerant, like whatever circumstance may be, he accepts it and he will bear it, right?
Yeah.
And will
Accept it.
always take shelter of the Lord,
Yeah.
fully surrender.
Yeah. Always take shelter of the Lord, always worshipping Him, no matter what's
Whatever
coming.
be is like for his good, whatever like
Yeah,
punishment or whatever that comes his way, there is some hidden. He will take it as there's some hidden purpose.
yeah, you know, that's right. Because what we may do, we may say, what's this? What I do this for you, I do that for you, yet you're putting me into all this
Mm.
problems. What's happening? Why are you doing this to me? Instead, we can ask Krishna to give us tolerance, please. Okay, I understand. Okay, I have to go through what I have to go through. Then you please give me the tolerance to bear it.
Mm.
And please give me the humility to bear it, the strength to bear it. A pure devotee never complains against the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. A vivid example is Prahlad Maharaj. Examining the life of Prahlad Maharaj, we can see how severely he was harassed by his own father, Hiranyakashipu. Yet he did not divert his attention from the Lord, even to the smallest extent. Bali Maharaj, following in the footsteps of his grandfather Prahlad Maharaj, remained fixed in his devotion to the Lord, despite the Lord's having punished him. He's punished him, and yet he wants to please him. Somebody punishes us, we may say, I don't want to please you anymore. For what? Right? But here the Lord has punished him, arrested him, that he's saying, I want to please you. I want to please you. So such are the dealings between the devotees and the Lord.
And one thing more, Srimad, about the association, right? Like he had the association and mercy, like what we read before of Prahlad Maharaj.
Yeah,
That
that's
makes a
right.
lot of difference because on our own we cannot do it. We
Yeah,
need the association and the mercy. He had that. Ahetugi Kripa, he had that from Lord, and then he had the association and everything
yeah,
from Prahlad Maharaj. That is very, very powerful.
yeah,
That
it's
that
true.
brought him to this position, and he could react in this way. Because for a normal person, it is not possible. But because he had the association of Prahlad Maharaj and he had the mercy, that was only the reason that he could react in such a way, being at such a position,
Yeah,
in such a
it's true.
family, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's true. He's Kripa Siddha, no? Bali Maharaj. He got the mercy, yeah. So important, as you rightly pointed out, association. So we need association of devotees. We need. That's how we read yesterday that Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, okay, if I have to be born, then you let me be born even as an insignificant ant, but in the house of a devotee.
So where the association comes in again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So, yeah, it's true. Very important. Association of devotees. Okay, stop here. Prahlad Maharaj ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Hare Krishna.